This is before the scene. More specifically, this is New Script on the Block. And we are going to be reading a scene from The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
You want to know something cute?
Huh.
Ash crossed her leg over, and when she did that, I did it too. Or, I mean, she moved her leg, and I did it
same person.
again.
I know.
I was like,
we are the
shit.
same person.
I looked down, and we were both doing it.
Yeah, I should swap lives for a day and see if your spouses notice.
I'm pretty sure they would notice.
If I just, dress as her and have, the switch and, crouch a little bit.
Hey, with the way Matt plays video games, I'm not sure if he'd notice. I don't know. I'm just saying, you could pass.
I'm going to record pre-recorded, stuff,
Voices
dialogue.
of
It's
Ashley.
Hi, Matt. I'll be over here with my switch. Keep talking.
Not even what Ashley would say, just highly suspicious versions of Ashley.
Okay, so Jimmy Fails is the...
Fails?
That's what
Is that his name?
it says. Jimmy Fails.
Oh my
Story.
god, it really is spelt that way too.
Yeah. Joe Talbot
Sorry.
is also story written by Joe Talbot. There's a lot of writers.
Okay, and who's the director?
Is
Is it Jimmy Fails? God, that would be a
it's
terrible
Joe Talbot. Talbot.
Jimmy Fails.
Can you imagine growing up with that name?
That would suck.
Going through high school and shit? Oh my god.
name. Sorry, Jimmy.
And during graduation?
Wait a minute.
when they're calling in the ceremony? No! Jimmy Fails?
No!
You're like, no! You like that one?
I like to believe that it's a stage name.
Sorry.
I like to think that that's right. That's a pen name, right?
I hope.
I hope so.
Comment at us, Jimmy, and let us know.
At us.
Yeah, at us, not at Arizona Studios.
There's not much about him.
There's not much info on Jimmy Fails.
No.
What a failure.
Stop it. Now you're just being cruel to the man.
No.
It was also written by Rob Reichert. Joe Talbot. I don't know. These credits are a little all over the place.
Interesting. We'll look into it.
Well, maybe if we printed out the title page of these scripts,
Wait a minute.
That could help.
Yes?
Okay, so it says Jimmy Fails, but then he also plays Jimmy Fails.
This story written about this guy Jimmy Fails or something.
I guess so.
Oh.
So he plays himself?
Is this based on a true story? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
We haven't watched this movie, by the way, folks. We're gonna read the script. We're gonna watch the scene. That's what we do on the show. It's just one scene. Just the one scene.
I mean, from the context of this, I can totally see it being a true story. At least from this scene that I saw. I only watched one.
Are you looking at the plot synopsis right now?
I mean, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically, a young man searches for home in the changing city that seems to have left him behind. Is the short
Logline.
version of that? Yeah.
See, that's a log line, right?
Yes, that's a logline. It's no matter how many blog posts we do about it.
Guess we have to do another.
Yeah.
We're gonna make another blog post.
We're just going to talk about log lines in every episode now.
Yeah.
Until people start listening.
It's not like I'm asking for much. Just a sentence.
Just have a log line.
Yeah, just have a log line.
All right, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Maestro.
All right. Master bedroom. Jimmy rolls over onto his back, blood spilling from his lip as he laughs hysterically. Oh, okay. As Jimmy catches his breath, a faint voice approaches outside. He picks himself up and walks towards the window. A group of tourists on segways stare up at his house through the mist. The crowd of expressionless faces look like an army in matching tie-dye and helmets. They circle their guide, who adjusts his helmet and begins his chalk talk.
The other guides will rattle off some stupid Summer of Love, Grateful, Jefferson, Quicksilvery, but you distinguished truth seekers want to know about the real hepcats who hung out here, like James Baldwin and his stylin' ascots. Here, in the Harlem of the West, where Dizzy and Miles would come play after their white people gigs, where Mayor Miscone got blowjobs from black hookers, where Jim Jones makes his first cup of Kool-Aid.
A couple of other tourists look at each other, their teen beams.
Man, I'm going to tell you, this is pretty rough. Here we go.
Yeah.
Of course, along comes Mayor Joe Alioto, spoiling all the fun, leveling the neighborhood in the name of urban renewal. Sorry about your homes and your funky shops. You can set up a shoe shine stand in the Safeway parking lot. And yet, a few glorious homes survived Il Duce's wrecking ball, like this masterpiece dating clear back to the 1800s.
Nah, bruh.
Exterior, balcony. Jimmy pushes the window open and steps out.
Before the black stuff, this was a all-Japanese till FDR's stormtroopers rounded up into camps.
This house was
Jimmy spits a mouthful of blood to the left of the tour.
Sorry.
He wipes his lip dry on his sleeve.
This was built in the 1940s.
The tour guide looks quizzically up at Jimmy.
Hey there, amigo. Let's wave to our neighbor here, everybody.
A few group members tepidly wave. He lowers his voice so Jimmy won't hear. Jimmy leans forward to listen.
That would be about 100 years late for this style. We can see just from his gingerbread trim, this was built sometime in the 1850s.
1946.
The tour guide smiles embarrassedly at his group.
Gonna have to disagree with you there, dude, man. No architect in the 1940s was building in this style.
That's probably true. But this house wasn't built by an architect. My grandpa built this.
The group, including the tour guide, look up at the towering piece of real estate with renewed curiosity.
Well,
He arrived in World War II, bought this lot, and built this house. The stairs, these windows, the columns, the archways, the witch hat, and the balustrades. The fish scales, the little spindles, the balcony, the wall to keep y'all the fuck out. All of it by James Fales I with his own two hands in 1946.
Jimmy looks like a king finally restored to his throne, subjects at his feet framed in an ornate archway. A tubby man snaps a pic. The guide composes himself, seeing he's lost his audience.
That's pretty amazing. Well, on we go to our next stop, the closet Patty Hearst willfully hid herself in.
Jimmy smiles proudly as they flee. He turns. Mont leans against the wall of the master bedroom, smiling.
Oh my god.
I would really like to...
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to research this. Like, I would like to know why. You know, like, all of it. Like, where does the story come from? Why
San Francisco.
Well...
I think I get what you mean, and I think I have an answer.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like, just piecing everything together.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. You just said you had an answer for a question I wasn't even asking you. I'm just saying I want to know where this story comes from. Like, I wish I knew, you know, is this based on a true story? Is Jimmy Fales the Jimmy Fales that also wrote about Jimmy Fales and the script about Jimmy Fales, the character starring Jimmy Fales? And
but then James Fales was his
grandfather who built the house. So is the house the real house?
Maybe his and his family, all the males are named Jimmy Fales.
Yes,
or James
I'm
Fales.
fine with that.
Right?
The part I'm curious about is where does reality and script blur and combine, and what's separate? You know what I mean? Like, what's real and what's not real, Jimmy Fales?
I thought this was based on a true story. So.
That's what I'm unclear about. And I also would like to know, again, like, because we saw him as a writer credit and as an actor credit, and I'm like, who are you? What do you
Jimmy
do?
Fales!
What do you do?
My name's on this!
What do you do for a living? Like, what is his actual job? How did he get here? How long has he been doing this?
Why
what
are
else
you
has
bleeding?
he done?
Yeah, why is he bleeding? That's what I'm curious about.
We'd have to watch the rest of the movie.
I was gonna say, has any of us watched it?
I mean,
Nope.
honestly, the scenes that we have watched from it, it looks really great. Cinematically, like, the cinematography is great. I'd watch it just for that. I mean, I want to know. I want to know about you, Jimmy Fales.
Well, yeah, now I want to know. I need to know what's happening.
Well, there's like regional like or maybe it's not even regional and I'm just stupid, like terms and phrases that I don't understand or fail to deliver as a person that's not from San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, you are reading for a tour guide that knows a lot of stuff about, like,
what's
architecture.
Quicksilvery, you know? Or
Well,
that's a name. Wait, Summer of Love, Grateful Jefferson, Quicksilvery. Isn't
think
Summer
that's a
of Love a
reference.
song?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a reference to something.
Because it's San Francisco and a lot of artsy, hippie shit was going on over there. And if he was doing a tour guide thing.
I'm looking it up.
Fact check.
Yeah, we're too young for this one.
Summer.
We're gonna have to look up a lot of the stuff that's in here just to understand.
But this is a contemporary story, right? Like, the movie itself is, like, set in modern day, or is it set,
I mean, it looks like it is. There's segues in it, right? I mean, it can't be that old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Segways. Segways? That's like a 1940s thing.
Yeah.
I believe in the scene, like, everything else around him is kind of getting modernized,
Mhm.
and he's kind of, like, in this obvious house that's been built in the 1940s.
I mean, that's mistaken for being built in the 1800s.
Right.
What ethnicity, I mean, you guys seen the scene already,
Yep.
but I guess between me and Ash, what ethnicity do you think the tour guide is?
Tour guides. Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, is that a question for me?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Only the people who don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is you and me.
I mean, I would assume that he's white.
Mira, what ethnicity do you think this person is?
Oh, I didn't answer, huh? Well, I'm asking because in the bottom of page 27, he says, before the black stuff. And I'm like, ooh, maybe he's black. The tour guide.
To be able to, like, say that as so...
Nonchalantly and
Yeah.
part of his performance
Yeah.
as a tour guide.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Maybe he's black, or how about this? My answer is that he's not white.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Yes.
I mean, you can say it, yeah.
You could say whatever you want.
Oh, thanks, guys.
This is your podcast, man. We're just here for the ride. Since you make all the decisions here.
Oh my god!
Debauchery.
You know what? Worth it. That's what I have to deal with. Worth it.
Wait. Pause.
The whole set's coming down.
Everything's falling apart around us.
Fix your podcast.
Yeah, you might want to redesign those characters again.
Oh. Wait, is that a...
No, don't fucking do that.
Wait,
so you're
are you
giving me
telling me?
Alright, I can't find anything about
Any of this?
about it.
I just want an interview with the guy.
Well, okay, the Summer of Love was a social phenomenon that occurred during the mid-1967 when as many as 100,000 people, most likely young people sporting hippie fashion of dress and behavior, converged in San Francisco's neighborhood of Haight-Ashbury.
It's really long. Yeah.
Where
More
are you typing
broadly...
What? Sorry.
Graham's doing other research in the background, folks.
Oh.
We're trying to get
Oh.
some information.
More broadly, the Summer of Love encompassed the hippie music, drug, anti-war, and free love scene throughout the American West Coast and as far away as New York City. So I guess it was a thing. The Summer of Love was a thing in San Francisco. But the fact that it says Grateful Jefferson Quicksilvery, like, there's the band Grateful Dead, and then there's also a band Jefferson Airplane. Could he be
Combining those two.
all of them together?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know where Quicksilvery comes in, but
Jimmy
All right.
fails.
So this says, for all its surreal elements, The Last Black Man in San Francisco is based on a true story. It's about Jimmy Fails, played by Jimmy Fails himself.
jeez.
Interesting, Jimmy Fails. Bold move, Jimmy Fails.
Should we have a Jimmy Fails counter? I feel like we need to have a counter. Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy Fails?
Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy fails?
Jimmy Fails?
Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails. Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy fails.
Jimmy fails.
Jimmy fails!
Jimmy fails.
Jimmy fails. Jimmy fails.
Jimmy fails. Jimmy fails.
How many
Yeah, we
times
definitely.
You just need to get that approved. That was really loud in my ear.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just love that we're still on that.
Yeah, me too. We have fun here.
Okay.
Is
That's
this what you call fun?
Okay, yeah, Jimmy Fails is real.
Okay,
And,
wait, but I don't feel like I got enough information out of that. So this is about Jimmy Fails, but I mean, like, is he a... I don't want to be an asshole, but what does he do? Is this his first film? Has he done other films? Like, where'd he come from?
And I
San Francisco.
really,
God damn it, Ashley.
It's in the title.
I really don't think he's the last black person in San Francisco. I'm willing to bet he is definitely not the last.
He's not even the last black man in San Francisco in this movie. You'll see in the other scenes.
Oh, spoiler.
I know.
God dang it.
Are you saying the tour guide's black?
Maybe he's just the last, like, black man who cares about San Francisco. You know? Like the original San
OC.
Francisco, like...
So his Wikipedia page, which I don't know how reliable you guys or how much
Yeah.
Wikipedia, guys. Wikipedia facts.
he's an American actor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And his first film was The Last Black Man in San Francisco. So I don't know if he wrote it. I don't know anything about it, but
How
it's his
did
first
this
film.
get made? Like,
He
this
made
is a
movie
man who
about
wrote a
himself.
movie about himself. It got made, and it's an Academy Award nominated film.
And we still don't know anything
And we
about
know
it.
nothing about him.
Was
and
it-
his name is Jimmy Fails. How do you go under the radar with a name like that?
Exactly.
Personal life. Fails resides in San Francisco.
That's
There's nothing
He's
else.
a made-up person. He's a man. Okay, this is like back when people were doing that whole meme thing about Gambino looking like Donald Glover, right?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is that all over again. Like Jimmy Fails is a stage name. It's a pen name for a real guy who is
Unnamed.
like I'm sure he has his own IMDb for his actual work.
His real name is James Wins.
That would be amazing.
But not spelt like W-I-N. It's like W-Y-N-N-S
Go.
or something.
Did you? Can we go to his IMDb? Did it show?
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing on it.
There's nothing on
It just, yeah, it's
just
very
this movie?
basic.
Jimmy
yeah.
Fails, Alyssa Eshelman is calling you out.
I'm gonna be hunting you. I will find this man on the internet. I will
need to
get
know.
your secrets. I just want to know how this movie got made.
Do an at Alyssa.
Yeah, please.
Or can I say your
Calling for a
email?
private interview with Jimmy Fails.
Alyssa at arizonastudios.com. Her phone number is
602.
It's no. Oh yeah.
No one knows that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I was going to say the office number.
Can you imagine he calls and he's like, "Hey, this is Jimmy Fails."
That's my actual name, and this really is the only film I've ever done.
No, wait, hold on. No, he calls like, "Hey, may I speak to an Alyssa Eshelman?" And then you're like, "Yes, who am I speaking to?" Jimmy Fails.
Jimmy Fails what?
I heard your podcast.
Coming for you. I'm at
Immediately
Sky
hang
Harbor
up.
right now.
The part of this that's crazy is just this is unheard of, right? Like, am I the only one who's in a panic mode because like this is unheard of? Like, you don't
Yeah.
not have any IMDb credits, write a movie, put yourself in it, cast yourself as the lead. You're the main character. The story is about you, and it got an Oscar award nomination. Like, this is the type of stuff we normally tell people who are new to filmmaking to fucking stop doing, right? Because that's
Yeah.
what a lot of, like, newbie filmmakers think, I'm the most fascinating person that ever existed, and people gotta hear my story, and then they write about themselves, and they make themselves the same character, and they direct it, and they act in it, and they produce it,
I wonder
and
who
they're on the
produced
camera.
Tommy Wiseau right there.
Right? But I guess Jimmy Fails did it right.
Who's that?
The Room.
The Room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Jimmy Fails definitely did something better than that. Like this man has become single-handedly like my new idol. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I need to know.
I'm looking for who produced it now because whoever produced it, like
Jimmy
whoever
Fail.
yeah, whoever produced it must have loved it. So
Yeah, like what studio or you mean individual?
Well, if you watch the trailer,
Both.
maybe it'll like do one of those things from the people who brought you Jimmy
Blah, blah, blah,
Fails.
blah.
You know,
For the first and only time.
it's like everything goes back to Jimmy.
Does he even have like upcoming projects? This is
he had a film called Corked come out this year, 2020.
Corked?
Corked. And I don't know if it's a full feature.
no, it says 12
Oh,
minutes.
12.
It's a short.
Well, a good one up on your feature film that was nominated.
Oh my god.
I really do believe that this isn't a real person. I think this is a second alter ego. I think that this actor has to have another name.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring it back to the script.
I'm sorry. I got lost.
Is there anything about the script that entices you besides the fact that Jimmy Fails exists?
And is a man of mystery. It's so much dialogue.
Yeah.
It's delivered well, though.
Well, not by me.
Yeah, well, obviously not.
Oh.
That's why we compensate with beautiful artwork.
Oh, damn. We're on fire today, guys.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
Look, this is one of those, that's the thing that's so crazy about it, is like you look at the script and it's exactly the stuff that they say not to do. Like, Jimmy Fails is breaking all the rules and succeeding at it.
Is that what really is, like, what's getting to you right now?
Is
Like,
this a message, Jimmy? Are you trying to tell us something?
Oh my god.
Don't give up on your script. Do whatever you want. Fuck the rules. Fuck the system.
kind of want to watch the scene now, and then maybe
I know, yeah.
it will, like, incite her more.
All right. Someone else put in the code.
It's Jimmy Fails. J.
That's my new password for everything.
Oh, we didn't cue it up.
Yeah, can
I'm
you
gonna.
find it?
All right, we're gonna watch this real quick. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Jimmy Fails creating content.
Stop it.
Okay, we are back. We watched the scene, and
And it was good.
yeah.
All right, well, this has been another episode of New Script.
Yeah, since we ran the time like talking about how much Jimmy Fails.
So wait, hold on. You were bringing up that this
Yeah.
reminded you of Won't You Be My Neighbor, or is it A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
Oh, is that the actual name? Yeah.
I think it's
Yes.
the
That's
Tom
the
Hanks one.
Yeah, the Tom Hanks movie about that show.
Which is, do you know what it is?
Something about Mr. Rogers. I don't
it's
know.
called no, that's not it.
That's not it. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Okay. That one. It reminded me of it. Again, like, just to kind of recap, like, in terms of cinematography, I feel like the shadows aren't obvious or aren't really there. I mean, so everything looks very flat, even though you're looking at a building that has a lot of different textures and layers to it. It doesn't look like there's a lot of depth, which in this case just comes out to look really unique and adds to the symmetry in the scene.
I think that flatness and that there are all those layers you were talking about, and that Jimmy Fails was like in the center of it,
Yeah.
looks like almost like a picture book castle.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
maybe that's why it's reminding you of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, where one of the characters is literally a king in a castle that is framed up that way as well.
Yeah.
Because he almost looks like a puppet.
Oh, for
like-
sure. Like the way that it's shot.
Yeah, you don't see his
especially
legs.
because he looks very small
Mhm.
compared to the environment, the way that they shot it and the angle it's at. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's shot in a very unique, intriguing way.
in the script,
I'd
it
like
was
to know who the DP is, because I haven't researched this heavily enough already.
in the
Jimmy fails.
on page 29, the in the script it does say like Jimmy looks like a king finally restored to his throne. Subjects at his feet framed in an ornate archway. So yeah.
They also got rid of
Pretty
the
matched
part
that.
with the blood, so I don't know if...
I did see blood on his lip.
Yeah,
But-
but then I guess he like wiped it away or something.
Yeah, I didn't really
because it wasn't
spit
there.
or like say sorry about anything. He kind of just proved his point.
Yeah.
And before that, it kind of started with him at the window already. So I don't know.
what happened in the scene before.
Ooh, speaking of that, the tour guide's dialogue was definitely cut down in the actual like scene.
For sure.
Maybe they also couldn't pronounce some of these things.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I saying? Can I just say I'm a
Yeah,
tour
right.
like, and we're gonna look at this house, you know? So maybe there is like
Some of the chunks got cut.
revisions, yeah, for sure.
For sure. And a part of it, too, is his delivery is really fast, too. I think that's part of the character that the tour guide actor developed is, like, his speech is much more quick-paced.
Well, I feel like if you're repeating the exact same thing the exact same way, it just becomes just the same delivery. Like it's crap. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it was pre-written. Staged. Yeah,
Memorized.
sure, staged.
Something like that, yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, he's a tour guide, so
Yeah.
obviously that's how it's written.
So in the action part of it, Jimmy looks like a king finally restored to his throne. There's a separate guy that comes out onto the balcony with him, and that's not in the script. And they even kind of make fun of he even says, "You look like a king. You gotta wave like him," and then he's trying to teach him how to do the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's not.
It's not even in the small. Is it Mont?
It could be.
Mont leans against a wall of the master bedroom, smiling, but instead Mont comes out to the balcony.
Yeah, and joins him, and they pretend to wave at their subjects.
Yeah,
So-
I thought it was cute. It was nice because it broke up the tension in the scene, right? Because there's this long trail of dialogue from Jimmy's character, describing something that he's obviously passionate about and is important to him, and it feels like a very emotional scene for him. And then at the end to have, the first bit that breaks it off, right, is when the tour guide's like, okay, cool, well, moving on to the next thing. He kind of completely ignores him and makes him seem unimportant, even though what he said was so important to him. And then immediately after that, when his buddy comes out and he's like, oh, wait, I'm going to teach you how to do this wave.
Yeah.
It just is goofy, and it pulls even Jimmy's character away from...
From the situation.
Yeah, from the sincerity he was feeling a moment ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Yeah, it does feel like the tour guide was just, even though he was wrong, he just kind of discredited it as
sure.
well, who cares?
Yeah.
Move on. Because it was significant for the tour guide to stop at that certain point to look at that house with the facts that he already had.
Yeah.
And then once he was proven wrong, it was like, oh, well, I guess this house doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
And especially it being a, African American, focused narrative,
Yeah.
it's even sadder.
For sure.
Yeah.
Being completely discredited by what was a crowd of white people who just seemed to not care and just want to know about the next celebrity spot that was visited in town. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know, it's weird because this scene doesn't say anything that would be considered outright emotional, right? It's not in past episodes when we've done scenes in Marriage Story or in Waves where you have people having a serious argument about something really life-altering. In this scene, it's he's just telling a story about how this house was built, and he's almost nonchalant, but it's not even him, right? His delivery seems no, this is what actually happened. He's very relaxed and calm about it, and it seems like this is just the true story, completely casual, but the music that they use and this dramatic shot where they're slowly pulling away, it all works to make it feel like a much more important emotional point than how the actor is made to portray it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the subtext of it is that it has value and meaning.
To Jimmy Fails.
To Jimmy Fails, yeah.
You can find this house if it's a real house. Maybe that's your start because
Yeah,
Jimmy
to hunt down
Fails.
Jimmy Fails. Yeah.
Like that. You think that's the house that his like actual grandfather built?
If this is based on a true story, which we have confirmed it is, in fact, yeah. If this is based on a true story, I refuse to believe that no one has done a documentary or an interview or anything with this guy.
I know what I'm doing later.
Yeah, like I'm going to get my ass on YouTube and be looking up every single video interview with Jimmy Fails I can find to find out.
No matter what time of day, Alyssa, just message us more facts
We're back.
about Jimmy Fails, like your research, and then all of a sudden it'll just like have an erupt message like, help me, Jimmy Fails found me. And then it's like, this is Jimmy Fails.
Yeah. Like it's a
Stop.
scene in a horror trailer for something like, friend request or whatever, like those online typed up ones where you're just getting blow-ups on your phone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I'm interested in seeing the rest of this because, yeah, and I think one of the articles we read, they mentioned that it gets kind of, not avant-garde, but a word that is similar to that. Abstract?
Abstract.
Sure. That's a
don't-
word.
That's crazy because the scene this scene doesn't seem very abstract at all. Like
No.
it seems very it almost reminds me of a TV show. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something about like San Francisco and like that vibe. I don't know. Something makes me feel like it's a TV show.
There's
Full House.
So that could be it.
Oh, I could totally see that, like the opener to Full House. That makes sense though, because doesn't that take place
Yes,
in
it
San
is in
Francisco?
San Francisco.
Yeah, now it all makes sense.
Well, did we record that guess when I said, hey, do you think this the tour guide was white or black?
Yeah, we were recording on that.
Okay. Well, he's white. And he said before the black stuff to a tour group.
Ugh.
Like, okay.
I think it's
But-
intentionally supposed to sound bad.
Yeah.
But I like that the way that Jimmy handles the situation
Yeah.
is just more of like,
It's about the house,
yeah, it's not about what all.
but it's not about the house.
But yeah.
It's facts.
Well, I think it's about discrediting this tour guide. But then you're right. Then the tour guide's like, I still don't care.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's use our segue to segue out of this situation.
I gotta watch this movie. Yep, team movie night for sure.
Okay.
Next team movie night.
Which
Need
we
to
will
re-
live.
I think I actually,
Re-implement that.
this among other films that we have done on this podcast or talked about for this podcast, I have been making a list of them that I want to see and where they are available to watch, and this is available on Amazon. So just, I think you have to pay. Like it's a,
it's like a
it's
rent?
a rent.
Like $2.99.
Yeah, something like that. It might be like $6 at the most, but yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else?
If anybody knows any facts about the real Jimmy Fails, please send them to us at info@arizonastudios.com or send us a comment below on our YouTube channel or SoundCloud.
So that way Alyssa can sleep.
Get
Sleep soundly.
sleep at night.
A very
at night.
frightening message, disconcerting message, like, don't look into it.
If you know what's good for you, you'll stop right now. Oh my god.
Also, if you count how many times we said Jimmy Fails in this podcast, you can win a Jimmy Fails t-shirt.
This
we
is
can't
so
promise that.
now Graham is on board with Nero with the whole let's just come up with things and not worry about Alyssa at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're
Just gonna do what we want to do now, aren't we, crew?
getting on the bandwagon.
We're not giving away Jimmy Fails t-shirts. If you make a Jimmy Fails t-shirt, we will buy one.
We as in Alyssa.
I will buy one.
I might buy one too. But hey, no, like that's a good point of like count how many times we do say Jimmy fails. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Wanna
Comment at us.
out of the four of us, you want to guess how many times we said Jimmy fails?
Too many.
I
I'ma
mean,
say-
I said it a lot.
32 times.
Oh, way
No.
more than that.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I would have guessed like 28.
32, 28.
50.
Jimmy fails. Jimmy fails. Jimmy fails.
Oh, 35!
Those count. You're just
55.
discrediting everything.
44. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right.
44, 35, 28.
Well, can I change it? Are we counting
Okay,
the
let's change
last
it.
however
Final-
many Jimmy
final-
fails that he
God damn it! You just said
said?
it too! Stop saying his name.
Okay, I'm going to
He's gonna
say
manifest.
38. I'm saying 38. No one else say Jim. 39.
No.
Okay, 38.
No,
38. 38.
All right. What about you now? Oh my god,
I
you're
don't know,
gonna
like
recall
30,
it.
33? I don't know, 33.
33. Graham?
44.
Still 44. All right, I'll say 55. We'll see.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening in on this.
Wait, can I change mine?
Yeah?
I say 65. I feel like we said it a lot.
Yeah, I think we said it a lot.
I think it's a
65.
lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, audience, if you want to count that number for us, please, so we know who won.
Don't say his name again. I know you want to. Don't
Even more
say
now
it.
that you said not to.
Oh.
All right, someone close out. I'm
Thank you for listening. You'll hear us next time.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Jimmy fails.